Welcome back to Unranked Podcast. Here you have Elijah alongside Grant. For another episode. We're in the middle of March here. March Madness is upon us. Which means basketball galore, college basketball. We're gonna hop into that first and foremost. It also means NFL free agency, NFL drafts approaching. We're gonna dabble in that a little bit as well.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna start out with college basketball. It wouldn't be right if we didn't start off with that. It's probably a game on right now, I would imagine. If not,
Yeah.
I know they're full force starting in a day or so here. So, kind of what are your thoughts? I kind of leave the floor to you. I know you want to talk about Michigan, but kind of what are your thoughts in general? As we're right before we tip off, 120 some games in the next couple of days.
Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to it. Like you said, they got the first four tournament going on right now. Watched a couple of those games yesterday. Even though they're just playing games, I mean, they're very competitive. It's been great to watch. Got a couple more games on tonight. I believe the tip off for the whole, the big dance, quote unquote, is tomorrow at 12:15. And I think I've watched quite a bit of ball, college basketball over the last couple months, and it feels like one of them. I don't really see a team on there that I'm just they're gonna definitely win it all.
No, I 100% agree.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, you got Gonzaga. They're always in the mix some way, somehow. Arizona, I say that's probably my favorite. Them or Auburn. Kentucky is kind of back, where they're usually at. They got a 2 seed, and a lot of people are kind of picking them, to potentially win it all. And you also got them, the mid majors that always come to love crash the party. With the Loyola Chicagos and the VCUs, and I think it's gonna be a great tournament. I'm expecting the typical 2, 3, 4 first round upsets. Somebody going as far as they can, or somebody going farther than they were supposed to go. So yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna be good overall, and I think obviously we kind of touch on Michigan a little bit more than we touch on Michigan. That's kind of what we do overall. So I think just kind of shift gears to them. They play at 12:15 Colorado State tomorrow, and I'm a little nervous. You just heard Devontae Jones. He's probably not going. He's not going to suit up. He didn't make the trip. Won't make the trip unless they make it to the round of 32. I mean, obviously this is a team that we've saw has been up and down. I think I told you they haven't won 2 straight games since early February.
Yep.
Definitely happy about the spot we got. Not having to play in the play-in. Kind of shocking that we didn't have to play in the play-in. But, the hope is that they're able to, handle business, survive in advance on Thursday, hopefully get Jones back on Saturday and keep it pushing. So, yeah, what are your thoughts on the tourney?
Yeah, I guess keep it on Michigan court here. And I would say, if you go back and listen to the last podcast, I said, what would you ask the question, what would you consider a victory season or a good season for Michigan? And we both kind of argued or debated about whether the sweet 16 round and getting to that round,
Yeah.
And just how that's kind of the first, that's kind of like the cheapest amount of victory you can get during the season. We made a Sweet 16. That that actually kind of means something.
Right.
And so I would say I was kind of riding pretty high, and us blowing that 20-something point lead to Indiana just kind of deflated my bubble a little bit on that. I do still think we can beat anybody, but I also think we can lose or blow a 20-point lead at any point in time as well. It's a very, very hot or cold team. If I didn't anticipate or expect us to win the Big Ten by no means, but after last weekend, obviously. But I would say I just kind of got a little deflated after that, and it maybe let me know, I still would love to get that first game. We almost have to get that first game, or that is going to be a very, very, I think, a bad season. But with the injury at the last minute, it just kind of that's more deflate to the bubble.
More expectations.
And then I don't know. And like you said, maybe Frankie Collins can get in there and get loose. He is very good. He had flashes and moments this year where he looked like he could be the starting point guard. Maybe he should have been a starting point guard at flashes. I believe he's
freshman.
Yeah, no, he's definitely freshman. I was going to say, but he's from Michigan, like Grand Rapids. So, just local kid. I believe. So hopefully he can put together a good series of games. A good
Yeah,
starting out with this first one here versus Colorado State. I don't know anything about them. I'm not even going to front like I do, but I'm going all blue the whole way. So I'm hoping
yeah.
they can pull this together. Feed Dickinson. Hopefully Houston can wake up. And some of the other players find a way to just step up and play Big Ten ball, and then hopefully power their way to a victory tomorrow afternoon. If you said 12 o'clock, so
Yeah, so I think, I agree with you. I mean, I think my expectations was just like, it's just been such a rocky season, you know what I'm saying? And like you said, we can beat anybody, but we can definitely lose to anybody. And, what kind of gives me still like like hope is that, we lost Dickinson before the Ohio game in Ohio last minute and, found a way to pull that victory out. So my hope is that, I hope they got a plan of maybe just having Brooks, kind of be more Eli Brooks having the ball in his hands more and kind of controlling the offense, having him more like in the controls. And I just kind of hope that like our physicality, like Colorado State, I heard they got like one of the best point guards in the country. I didn't get a chance to do a lot of research on them quite yet, but I heard they got one of the best point guards in the country. But one thing I'm kind of like banking on, like I was watching that Indiana-Wyoming game yesterday, and Wyoming, they held tough. But like after a while, like Indiana was just so much more bigger and physical.
yeah.
So they just
Like
kind of like
Big Ten ball. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, what I'm saying? It's kind of like one of them like them heavyweight fights where they just, the body shots just kind of was just like eating away at them and then was able to kind of pull away at the last second. I kind of expect the same from Michigan. Like you said, it's one of them things where like Dickinson and Diabate, they can't be reaching, setting legal screens. They got to just find ways to like stay on the floor
Play
and
clean
just
ball.
control the offense because we're controlled, like just, control, the game. Because pretty thin off the bench, Buffkin, he's coming on. Terrence Williams, he's playing a little bit better. Johns, Johns does what Johns does. But this is one of them things where it's like, kind of like, not like next man up, but it's like, all right, let's band together and like, effort to like make up for Devontae Jones' production. Because it just sucks because he was literally, I think he was averaging like 15 a game, shooting like 48% from the field, 4 or 5 assists a game, 3 or 4 rebounds a game. I think he had like 25 and 5,
he's starting to come on as a guy who,
like a leader, floor general.
The guy stepped in, and we've had, we've probably been a little bit lucky with our point guard, dating back to like,
oh yeah,
Darius, I can't even think of his last name right now, but
Darius Morris,
yeah, and then to Trey Burke, to Muhammad, to just name them, keep them. We've had a great string of point guard. Mike Smith last year came out of nowhere and it was phenomenal for us.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're one of them teams that we've been very fortunate in that, and I don't know. I kind of think we've had a roller coaster with point guard this year, but he was starting to come on. He was one of the more brighter spots as this season went on, is that he was starting to find a better role within the team. And it does suck to have him removed, but hopefully we can step up. And just to kind of go back to the broad of all of NCAA, you talk about Auburn as being one of the favorites. That's the team who I was really thinking about, with Jabari Smith. I just kind of, and then they lost, I believe, in the first round in the SEC tournament. So that kind of made me wonder, I'm not sure if they have any other top picks on that team, but are they already looking forward to, getting like the NBA, or are they coming to play?
They're like fire on defense, but like on offense is where they got some guards that just, play real sporadic, and that's what they say it might be kind of like their downfall. But they got, Jabari and Kessler, Walker Kessler, the dude in the middle. They are pretty stacked. But yeah, this is one of them times where it's like you can't get caught sleeping now. These kids
kind of go to another top favorite beat, Gonzaga. I've always hard on them. I think that they're kind of becoming more or less the new Duke. They're in it every year. They're the media favorite. They always seem to get the darling players. So I just kind of think they're obviously a perennial team, and they've came on. It went undefeated other than the championship game last year. I believe that was last season when that happened. So they're obviously a great franchise, a great team program. But I wonder, I always have that question of them of what are they going to do when they get into, with the big boys.
Yeah.
Are they going to run into another Baylor situation where they get, completely ran off the
floor?
court? And that might happen sooner rather than later. I think the Holcomb kid, I think if he can put together something that, I want to see him against real competition too. I want to see him, with the game on the line playing, a Big Ten team or playing, somebody from the SEC.
Yeah.
And that'll prove a lot. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can prove. And, you brought up Arizona. I already forgot his name, but I looked up the kid, the guy you sent me yesterday.
Benedict Mathurin.
Yeah, his highlight reel was ridiculous. So, I'm excited to see, watch them a little bit more as well. And I do think, just in general, throw it out, go back to him as well. But just in general, Big Ten, I'm going to go Big Ten heavy. I think Purdue's got a shot. Kind of a sleeper, but I like the Iowa team.
They can score.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of what I'm looking forward to. Is hopefully the Big Ten can stay strong with Michigan. Maybe upset and make an upset or so.
Yeah. Real quick, who does Benedict Mathurin kind of like remind you of? I'm just curious. I think he'd be literally like a puzzle piece for the Pistons, just like a plug in and like ready to rock next year. But who does he kind of?
I just off that highlight reel, he just looks stupid explosive. I mean, how big is he? I guess I wonder. I only see was the highlight there. 6'7". I mean, kind of from the highlight reel. I mean, I have to go. I don't know, like Miles Bridges type. He just looks like somebody that can come in and just blow the top off the team. I mean, I with the Cade Edwards, you've seen how he's making Marvin Bagley. I mean, I'm sure he's probably had more dunks with us than he had with the Kings all year. So, I think, adding those type of puzzle pieces, the dude he got the bunnies for sure.
Yeah. And I just, NBA ready, like jump shot too. Like he literally watching him play against UCLA in the championship, Pac-12 championship. I mean, it was down like 8-12, but he just started firing threes off. And I mean, he very, very efficient player, played defense and all that stuff too. But I just wanted to see what your thoughts was on him. But yeah, I'm really just like geeked about the tournament overall because, you make the bracket. It's kind of like you hope. Like obviously, everybody wants to win the pot, wherever kind of like comes at the end of it. Getting the teams right. But sometimes it's just like I kind of appreciate it. I'm just kind of like, all right, forget the bracket after like the first weekend because that just means it was just utter chaos and like, we're gonna be seeing a lot of upsets and just teams, making deep runs and ain't got no business making them type of runs. And yeah, fingers crossed. Hopefully, Michigan can weather the storm tomorrow and then be full strength on Saturday to either play. I think it'd be Kentucky or whoever. I think they're playing like a 13, 14 seed. So most like, or not Kentucky, Tennessee. Tennessee that they be playing potentially, or whoever they're playing that second round. So yeah, we're gonna see, man, for sure. Wanted to just kind of shift gears here. Talk about NFL. That's another thing. Football never stops. Regardless if games are going on or not. I think that's always just going to be the sport that kind of just dominates the entire year. So, right in the thick of free agency. It's always cool, seeing, players released, getting picked up, starting to see some of these teams kind of forming these like, super teams. I think I just saw Von Miller sign $120 million with the Bills. So, I mean, a lot of guys getting paid and, there's more to come.
120 M's.
Yeah, 6-year, 120. Yeah, that's definitely got the bag. I just want to kind of see.
I didn't believe it when I seen it. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I literally had to double take too because I'm like he's like 31, 32. You know what I'm saying? Like I was kind of that's a pretty lengthy contract for a linebacker's kind of on the back end of his career. But I'm a big love Von Miller.
Hey, get the bag. I wonder if 115 of it's incentivized or not, but we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, it's it might be one of them things 2 years from now. They're like.
You need 37 sacks to get the money back.
Right. This is one of them contracts where they'll be like, this was probably not a good idea. They end up cutting them in like 2-3 years or something like that. I feel like we see those all the time.
Yep.
Where guys kind of just get kicked to the curb after the franchise makes the dumb decision and pays them so much money. But, good for him. But, wanted to kind of see what your thoughts were as far as with the Lions. I feel like they've been a little quieter than I'd probably like them to be, but I definitely recognize that we're, 3-13-1 last year and probably not like a free agent hot spot. But did get D.J Chark, which I think is going to be huge. with a receiving core if he can stay healthy. But yeah, just wanted to see what you thought about it.
Yeah, no, I agree that we're probably a little more quiet. And maybe that's just a testament to what we have. I mean, I'm not sure what we've been, who we were targeting and throwing real money at, but maybe that's more of a testament to what we really have going on and cooking.
Yeah, could be.
I can't imagine, like you said, too many people would want to go to us. I mean, I hate to say that and just sound so negative about it, but hopefully, I know that he had a great season in 2020. Talking about DJ, he had a great season in 2020. 1,000-yard receiver. It's one of those things where I don't know. Like I would have rather them address that in the draft. I think because you probably could have got it cheaper, or you definitely could have got it cheaper. You probably can get somebody that is going to put up equal amount of production and then go spend that money elsewhere. That would kind of be my initial thought, especially for a guy who, really has 1 year. 1 year under his belt that's worth talking about. I think last year I looked it up. He had like 7 catches for 120 yards or something. So
like 2 games, broke his leg.
Yep. So it just makes me wonder and question a lot. It definitely, if he stays healthy, obviously he can show us if he's be pretty productive. I did see a stat. I took a screenshot of it here. It said lowest catchable target rates from 2020 and minimum 80 catches. He was on the list, so he only caught 63% of his passes. So kind of more, question mark. I don't know.
I'm just glad it's not long-term contract.
No, also true. Yeah, no.
1 year, give him 10 mil. I think he can make up to 12 mil.
No, it could be worse. Like you said, we didn't offer Von Miller 120 million, but it was.
I would have legit thrown all my Lions shit if they would have did that. Like, no lie.
But no, I kind of, I don't know. The Lions are the Lions. I just think it was one of those things where they do a lot of things where it could work or it looks great on paper, or I also think they do a lot of trying to be the smartest guys in the room, and instead of so. I don't know. I guess, and I don't want to just shit on it if you happen to like the idea, but I personally think probably could address that in the draft. And get a guy that might make $10 million for his whole first rookie contract and be just as productive. So
I'm with you, man. I think I feel like it's like okay, I see you got a guy who's been in the league for 4 years, know how the NFL work. What I'm saying, plug and play, whatever that kind of looks like. It's gonna be one of the things. It's gonna be like we're gonna see what Goff can really, you know what I mean? Like with him, Hawkinson. I'm blanking on the back in the running back in the backfield.
Fuck. And Hawkinson, he didn't get hurt bad last year. I know he missed the end of the year, but I'm trying to think.
I think he was just kind of like banged up, and they were just like shut him down pretty much. I think he had like thumb surgery or something. It was something minor, but he did have surgery.
Yeah. Swift.
DeAndre Swift. So I mean, you got Amon-Ra St. Brown coming on. I'm gonna call him Baby Golden Tate. So I just think like,
no, that was a bright spot. Yeah, he had a phenomenal season. Yeah,
it's gonna look good because I was like, that's why I was kind of like, I kind of walked off my wide receiver in the first few picks. But I kind of walked off on it, but the more I thought about it, if they didn't get Chark, I'm like, okay, we need to get somebody. You know what I'm saying? To just like give our offense a chance if we weren't going to like address it in free agency. But I think now, like with having Chark, it's like, okay, that's a feel. It's something that we assume is going to work out.
Right.
So now it's like, okay, I think obviously, it's up in the air now. We're going to do with that number 2 pick because I think Hutchinson going to end up going to Jacksonville, unfortunately, and I don't really like Thibodeau.
Yeah,
I think that
they did sign a tackle.
They franchise tagged their left tackle and they signed another tackle. So
Brandon Shift.
Sheriff.
They're probably not gonna take another lineman.
No, they're gonna put somebody on the other side of Josh Allen. Which is smart. And I think Hutchinson gonna definitely thrive in that spot. So I'm rooting for him in that regard. But
and that just shows, excuse my French here, but that just shows the Lions, standing there holding their dick, like they had no business winning some of them games that they won at the end of the year, and we lost the pick. Like it's crazy. That's a Lions move right there. Now we sitting there and some of these other guys, Thibodeau, Kyle Smith from Hamilton, from Notre Dame. I think. they could be phenomenal players, but once again, we're not in the ultimate position we should be because we were,
Right.
doing too much, or trying to beat us. Not that you always want to lose games, but when you don't win your first game to like week 9, you have no business
Time to kind of pack it in. Yeah.
playing yourself out of the pick the last week of the year.
Yeah.
So, I think that's kind of, if you want to know the kind of the snapshot out of the lines, that's that. Playing ourselves out of the first pick. Now we're standing there. Hutchinson could be the next, Watt brother, or could be the next, guy that sets the edge off for the next 5-7 years, and and we're sitting there, we're looking like, damn, we got.
We're sitting there with a guy Thibodeau that just talks a lot of game, but then let his Oregon teams get literally destroyed by Utah back-to-back weeks. That's why I'm just like not so optimistic. Obviously, I get like you play you can run away from ends and all this other type of shit, but I just feel like with Hutchinson, it was just like motor. You know what I'm saying? Just like plays harder than everybody. Going to be playing, the hardest playing player on the field at all times. And just put yourself, it's because it's literally one of those like franchise, like, changing picks. And I think we talked about it a couple weeks ago or last week. I mean, I'd probably be cool with Hamilton now if they're not going to be able to get Hutchinson. I'd rather.
And just to throw it up, tied in, we had Andy Phillips on the podcast a couple weeks ago. He released his information. He had Kyle Hamilton as the number one person on his board. Had
a DN from Georgia on there that not getting a whole lot of love.
So I think we do have a lot of. I think you have to you have to assume that they're going to take Hutchinson, and you have to begin to evaluate the rest of the players and fill spots. And if that's if we're going to get a safety that can, we need a safety. We have Aaron Rodgers in our division. I imagine Justin Fields is going to do something, or the Bears always have something. We're going to, where it's a pass happy league. So, getting, shoring that up.
Like I told you, like I'd rather have a strong pass rush with like somewhat decent, secondary, because like I don't care how strong your secondary is, it's hard to guard players longer than like 5-6 seconds. So it's just one of them situations where, I trust Brad Holmes too. I mean, I feel like, he's going to take some time to, maybe trade up. You know what I'm saying? They got a lot of draft capital. They got a lot of picks. They got like 5 picks in the top 40.
Yeah, no, so, and I agree. And we talked about it, but they're going to have like 2 picks, like, like the 32nd pick and like the 34th pick or something, So, what do you think about? I'm not sure if he'll be there. I know he had a great combine, but Ajabo, the other DN from Michigan. I think if he gets there, maybe that could be a way to shore up the deep line a little bit. I think he's a phenomenal player as well. I don't think he got a little overshined because of what Hutchinson was doing, or a little under, not as much shine.
Right. I think with him, he showed out so well at the combine. I think he ran like a 4.6. Mm-hmm. I'd be shocked if he's there past like 15, 20. I mean, it had to be something,
I could see it. I could see him flying off for sure. I'm just throwing out other people that we know. I'm not sure. I haven't looked at my graph. I didn't realize he was that high, but
I've seen him as high as like 10. I've seen him as low as like 20 to 25. So I mean, it's really kind of like whatever. I think he'll just like hearing about him and just kind of like knowing how he is and stuff, and like it seems like just a very like a great story. I feel like he's one of the people where they'd like people would definitely gonna take a shot on him just because of like his production and his upside, because he's only been playing football since like junior or senior year in high school or something like that. So
and he's a freakish athlete.
I would say I definitely that second pick, it does kind of concern me now. I mean, I'm not gonna hold you up. I wouldn't even mind if they just kind of traded it out of it and like got more draft capital, and so it's kind of like, okay, we trade like the 5th or 6th picks. We can kind of just get like the next player available and not just like, make this decision that could literally like haunt us, for years down the road. And I also feel like, I just think I wouldn't be mad if they got Hamilton. Thibodeau is who I'm just not, I'm not really sold on him. People kind of choose what they want to do and not do at the combine. But I just think it's way I'm hearing him just, talk about no sales tax, and wants to like play somewhere that doesn't have any sales, or like, no taxes or whatever, that is. Like he wants to play in like, I don't know,
Jackson,
whatever he said.
Florida don't got sales tax.
Yeah.
Or
So
income tax?
Income tax. That's all. I'm saying. Like he wants to, place. I don't know. Until you hear guys kind of like, I get it. Like he's, smart kid. Think about his future, this, that, and the third. But like, I just keep hearing him. He doing a lot of talking. You know what I'm saying? Like he says about how he was like beating up on Evan Neal, like the best tackle in this draft, and then film came out that he was getting like destroyed by Evan Neal. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I'm not loving the eye test and like kind of what I'm seeing now. When you get on the field, it's a different story, but. Yeah, I think I'd be cool with Kyle Hamilton. There are also some, once again, like trading back, you can see like, there's a lot of DNs, from Georgia, just defensive players from Georgia as a whole that I wouldn't mind getting a hold of.
Yeah,
You saw what they did to us.
linebacker, who's the linebacker from Georgia?
I don't know. We both blanking on names today.
He blew us up like crazy that whole draft.
But, he was.
Yeah, the whole play. But I agree, and obviously we're biased towards Hudson.
Walker.
Yeah. We're biased towards Hudson because we watched him play. So I probably watched at least 80% of every snap he's taken. Over the last 4 years.
Don't lie.
Yeah,
He's gonna be a first rounder last year, like his junior year. So I mean,
Yeah, no, but trading back wouldn't be bad. Wouldn't be, obviously. We especially if we can pick up another third or a second or something. We need all the help we can get. We need 3 starters out of them first 3 picks.
Yes.
Three day one. Put them in. They're the starting at whatever position you drafted them at. That's what we have to have. And then, so draft not too far down the road.
I do want to throw out there, they got to try to find a way to get Drake London from USC. It's just like
I see. You made me look up his tape, and no, he's legit.
Yeah. It's just the fact he's a Lions fan somehow. He's like from California, so I don't know. Anytime you got an opportunity to try to, get a kid like that, wants to play for your franchise and, one of his old teammates already play there, I think that's just something that that could definitely work in our favor. I think that's something to get them, late first, early second round. Like I said, trade around in the, maybe trade up and just try to snag them like 25th, 26th, but get yourself some more draft capital for later on in the draft. But yeah, I think all in all, like I said, I hope they kind of, I hope they definitely shore things up in the draft. And I do hope that they, kind of go back to the free agency thing, just grab I just want to see a couple more defensive players, maybe just see like a change of pace back or, what I'm saying, just like another tight end, just to
we got to infiltrate juice into the system. Last year was just kind of a gnaw. We won 2 games. It's kind of a gnaw. You obviously lost Stafford. We were playing with David Blau or some shit by the end of the year. So I think we were it was crazy. So you got to infiltrate as much juice into the system and keep it rolling as we can possibly do. And like you said, I think
seat warm for Bryce Young or hell, even dude from Ohio, Stroud. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I think if they could just kind of build like a little like team right now, and then kind of just it's like, all right, we got rid of Goff. Now he's gonna plug in that superstar rookie and just keep the ball.
I agree, and that would be the key. If they start doing something like that, and like you said, shore up the defense, get some weapons around, make sure that old line stays tip top, and I obviously you can't. I don't think you can go very far with Goff. You're gonna have to throw in one of them young guns, or ultimately go get a free agent, whatever. I think really you'll be better off with a Teddy Bridgewater running the show. You're better off with somebody of that ilk.
Game managing.
I wouldn't be mad if they found a way to go get Watson, but
Where do you, just real quick, where do you think, obviously taking everything he's dealing with and all the stuff seriously and not, turning a blind to any of that. But I guess, like, where would you like to see him go?
I'm not going to steal what you said earlier. You talked about that, but I personally think Steelers. I know I try to throw every quarterback at the Steelers, but I think you got to have Tomlin can shield a lot. Tomlin is a fantastic coach. I think in tenure, second to Belichick, probably only in the league. He's been damn near 20 seasons.
Yep.
He runs a fantastic show. And I think if you can get on that team, it would just help a lot of situations. It would keep he can shield a lot of that stuff. Like you said, assuming that this is going to be cleared like it seems like it's going to be. I would imagine he's still going to have a lot coming his way. And why not get to a great franchise? Whenever you can get to a team like the Steelers, who I seen a picture earlier today of the winningest teams since 2000. Steelers were second only to the Patriots on that list. So, go back. If you do the list from probably 80 to 2000, they'll probably be in the top 5 again. So, I think they're always there. And that's somebody that I personally, if I was him, I would be looking to get to that safe haven.
Yep. Yeah. No, I agree with that one. I think that'd be a good move. It'd be kind of crazy if they just signed Trubisky just to do that, though. But I
agree. That's kind of I agree. And I wasn't just started. I wasn't anticipating that happening.
Right.
I don't know how fast you can trade a player that you just signed, but maybe Trubisky's a great backup.
Right. Oh yeah. I think, and we already kind of discussed it. I mean, I feel like Atlanta. I just feel like he from Atlanta. Matt Ryan. They probably just need to go ahead and let him go contend. You know what I'm saying? Just give him a new change of scenery. I think he'd be I've heard that like Watson reached out to Atlanta and is almost kind of like trying to bring people with him. Allen Robinson, Will Fuller, those other free agents kind of just holding off, kind of see what he gonna do. Yeah. Should at least know where he gonna be at, I'd say by like Friday or Saturday. I just think that'd be, a situation where, he at the crib and it literally just be like a Mike Vick, 2.0, just, you know what I'm saying? Just like a scenario where they would he'd be able to bring Atlanta kind of like out of the gutter because they ain't been the same since going that 20-3 lead, nope. In the Super Bowl. So I think that, that'd be a good spot for them. I feel like even like New Orleans, like somehow New Orleans, they kind of find a way to beat Brady. Like they literally beat him except for in the playoffs, they beat him 4 times in the regular season the last 2 years, swept him each season, and literally beat him 9-0 with Taysom Hill.
Yep.
So, you kind of put a player like that, that can move better than Drew Brees could,
you see how that offense and that team looked before Jameis went down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is, like I said, Deshaun Watson was top 5 before, everything happened. He was literally leading the league in passing yards, was head going toe to toe with Mahomes. A lot of people, it's been a little bit since we've seen him. So I think if he was able to I think if we went to the Saints, I felt it'd be neck and neck, him over Brady as far as who I might pick to come out of the NFC when it comes to that. Then, obviously Los Angeles got something to say about that, but they also just lost Von Miller. So, I just feel like if he's able to kind of, find his way, even the Panthers, they got a lot of weapons too. You know what I'm saying? He's literally he's one of them guys where you just going to throw him in there. You already know they're going to be playoff contenders.
Obviously, he can make any throw, run any offense. I thought he was a phenomenal player since he was running into Alabama. He just you could tell when he looked like a Vince Young. He looked like he belongs in the NFL. That's the good in. So it's even crazy that he fell in the draft. Then we talked about Mitchell Trubisky. That's funny. I didn't even put 2 and 2 together. They went Trubisky first pick in that same draft. Yeah, and
Mahomes went 10th. He went 14th.
Yep. And so this, I was gonna. So
I've always felt like Deshaun Watson was kind of just a combination of Vince Young and Mike Vick. You know what I'm saying? Just got just with a better, throw a little bit better, obviously. But I agree.
He's the evolution of the running quarterback, where
he's the perfect prototype.
Yeah. There's the even a notch over Cam. Just can't run as well as Cam, but can throw a little better. It's kind of like the. That's that perfect little match, and much more physical than you could ever like a Mahomes could ever be. Or so I do think he's a generational type quarterback, and
right.
I think and he'll have a lot on his mind, a lot to prove coming back out. So I think whoever can get get him, they're going to be heading in the right direction because that, like you said, he was a top 5 quarterback before he went out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of I didn't realize you said by Friday. I didn't realize the decision was going to be made that fast.
I mean, they're saying
things are moving fast because a week ago this was not even to be thought of. So
they're saying like he's basically.
My last thing I'm gonna say is stay the hell out of Cleveland.
Yeah, that's why they said like I think like the Saints they've already like approved the Saints offer. They've already approved. I think it was Carolina's offer and maybe even Cleveland's offer. So it's just a matter of him trading, waiving the no trade clause and just saying like, all right, yeah, go ahead and ship me off here. So it'd be interesting to see because one thing, and this we can wrap it up after this, but one thing that it'd be interesting to see would be we saw what Russell Wilson went for, like what 2 firsts, 2 seconds, 3 players, and like a 5th round pick or something.
Yeah,
you can only imagine like Russ. Now Russ is Russ. Russ is a dog too. But I feel like Texans might be like, yeah, you see what they got for Russ? Like we don't need at least one more first rounder, one more player in return to kind of make this happen. So
I agree. It's gonna be interesting to see what they get. I don't know. I bet you, when everything settles, I bet you it'll probably be about the same. Because Russ is significantly older, but Russ can prove he can go get you a championship. Russ is significantly older, but Russ don't got no baggage. Russ. So I think ultimately when the dust settles, it'll probably really be about the same because everything you can say kind of the opposite.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And the Texans, they were on bad terms too, the Watson and the Texans too. So it is kind of just like we probably just need to go ahead and get up out of here.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe it is a Ricky Williams situation, but we'll see. Yeah. I guess the Saints have proven they did before.
Right. Right. Yeah. No. You ain't lying there. So. Yeah.
Anything else for the people?
That's all I got, man. Go blue. Hopefully we're able to pull it out tomorrow. And hopefully we, I wake up and we sign Tyrann Mathieu. The Lions sign Tyrann Mathieu tomorrow too. That'd be ideal.
Hey, somebody to existence. We're not having a podcast if we lose. No.
Right. We'll take a bye week.
All right.
That's all I got. Yeah.